Hello everybody, today I'm working on a 1996 Pontiac Sunfire ignition switch, and I'm going to show you how to change the starter. Basically the first step you're going to do is disconnect this negative here. You're going to use an 8mm wrench. It's going to do this. Ratcheting 8mm wrench is best. Once you undo that, take that off. Now next thing you're going to do is you're going to disconnect these two. These are going to be on the starter. When you see them, these two are the power to the starter. And I'm not sure what the sizes are on that one. This one right here, this goes to the solenoid. It's down here. This is the signal switch, goes to the solenoid. That's a 5/16. You can use a 5/16. So showing you on the starter here, this is going to be the 5/16. This goes to the solenoid wire, that second wire that I showed you. And then the first two larger wires go onto this one here. And this one's probably going to be a 12. Let's see, this one, no, that one's not a 12. That one may be 13 actually. So let me see. Oh, 14 for this big one right here. 14. So there's some big emergency over there.
Some smoke or something.
But anyway, a 14 here on the big one, and 5/16 on the smaller one. So once you disconnect these two, next step you're gonna do, you have right here the bracket. There's gonna be two 10mm nuts there. You'll see them here, one here, one here. You're gonna take those off, and this is gonna still be over this. But the next thing after that, after you do those two, it's gonna be this thing here. You're gonna have a 13mm. This is the nut that, the bolt that goes there. There's gonna be a 13mm, so you're gonna undo this one. I suggest a ratcheting wrench, stubby if you could get one, but you can use a long one if you want to. So after you undo that, you could take this bracket off. You're gonna have the starter is gonna be attached to your block using two 15mm bolts, and those we're gonna get off in a little bit. But first, see, you have the Milwaukee there. First you're gonna jack up the car. So if you look under here, you'll see this brace here. So this brace here, I put a jack under there and jacked it up right here. Be very careful, the jack might fall or something, so be careful not to drop it on yourself. Once you jack this up with the two chocks, wheel chocks under the back tire so it doesn't roll and kill you, you're gonna jack this up, and then you're gonna put, I just put one jack underneath the driver's side, but you could do both sides if you want, but it's not necessary. You just put one jack under here and just be careful in case it does fall. Now, going underneath the car, we have the starter. It came off of here. See, you'll notice there's no starter there now, but you're gonna have one 15mm here holding the starter, and then you'll have another 15mm a little further back. See right here, there's a 15mm back there. So I'll show you on the starter itself. Now, one big difficulty is getting this wire out of the way. So if you can, if there's a way for you to take this thing out, that's the best way to do it, is to get this out. And I think using a screwdriver, you could probably get in there in between and pull it out. But once you get this wire out of the way, it'll make it much easier once you undo these two 15mm to get the starter out. But otherwise, that wire is going to be kind of in your way. So I suggest whenever you pull a starter to use like a power tool like this one. I have a Milwaukee impact wrench, but this one will work, but you're going to have to break it by hand if you use a smaller one. You can also use the gun here. Make sure it's facing the right direction. 15mm deep socket right here, and it'll get the two right here, which are going to be on the starter. Looking from the bottom up, one is going to be here. The longer one goes here, the longer bolt goes there, and then the smaller one, the shorter one, goes here. So once you undo those, the starter will be free. You can undo it and then put the new starter back in the reverse order. These two, then you'll do the bracket, 2 10s, 5/16, 13, and then you do the 13 that goes right here. Remember this the big hole? There's a 13 millimeter, and then you'll connect the battery. And once you connect the battery, your car will start if the problem was the starter. Always check for when somebody's turning the key. You should be getting 12 volts here, but disconnect this first and have the wire, and just put the positive of the voltmeter on the wire that goes to here and the negative to the battery, and you should see close to 12 volts, and that will mean your starter's getting 12 volt, your signal is getting 12 volts. This one should always be hot with 12 volts, whether they're cranking it or not. This will always be 12 volts. So you put the positive of the voltmeter here and the negative of the battery. On the negative on the battery, from the negative terminal, the negative probe of the voltmeter goes to the negative of the battery, and the positive probe of the voltmeter goes to here. This should always be hot with 12 volts if the battery's connected. Thank you for watching the video. Comment, like, subscribe, and have a great day.